Hey guys, welcome to the video. So it was a very up and down week to say the least. So we started out, we had some huge gainers. We had some stocks go up 100%, which I'll be talking about in this video. We also had some of my biggest positions as biggest losers. We had Peloton drop huge. I'll be talking about all those plays, all the biggest losers, all the biggest gainers, what I'm holding going into next week, and what I'm excited for, what I expect going into next week, and just kind of a recap of this week as well. So we're gonna get into all that, all the gains and losses. So let's get into the video. So I had filmed a penny stock video on Sunday night. I got it out to you guys about my favorite penny stocks going up from the upcoming week. And this was a very successful video with some huge picks that took off the next day. So looking at this comment was the next day after I posted this video, just saying how these stocks performed. So the next day after this video, Gaxy did 122%, ALYI went 64% up, boxl went up 57%, Kronos up 29%, tomz up 18%, and CETX up 13.99%. So those penny stock picks were some of my best picks yet. Now to benefit off these stocks, you had to buy in at the right time and sell at the right time, of course. And some of these took off pre-market, so you had no chance of buying. So these possibly could have been winners and possibly could have been losers. It depends on your thesis behind the trade, if you're holding or selling, this was a day trade, and just a bunch of factors behind that. But yeah, the fact that I had no stocks go negative the next day for my penny stock video, very proud of that. So first off, let's talk about alternate systems, ticker symbol ALYI. So this is a stock that I've been talking about for a while now. They have the electric motorbikes. I really do like their business model and the growth opportunity. Now on Monday, this stock proceeded to shoot up 64% for the excitement of the announcement that was happening on Tuesday. So when I saw this shoot up 64%, I didn't know what to do. I ended up taking profits at about 50% for the day because one of my biggest penny stock trading rules is if a penny stock shoots up 50% in one day, you pretty much have to take profits no matter what your thesis is. You can buy back in, there's bound to be a pullback. So the next day, it proceeded to go negative, and most of the week it was negative. Today it was actually positive 6%, I believe. But that was my plan on ALYI. I would definitely like to get back in this one in the future because I do like this business model and the value and growth potential. But at that value, when it was up 64%, I thought to myself, would I buy more at the price? No way, so I sold. That's an exercise to always have in your head. If you're up big on a stock, you're all excited, you gotta think to yourself, would I buy more at this price? If the answer to that is no, then I'd highly recommend you sell, because what's the point of holding if you wouldn't buy more at that price anyway? It just makes no sense when trading. Now investing is totally different, but strictly trading, if you wouldn't buy more at the price that it is currently, then it's not worth to hold. So the next stock I'm going to be talking about is one of my big recommendations from last week as well. This was tomz, ticker symbol TOMZ. This is the big disinfectant spray brand. They sell these for $23,000. I love the business model at this time. They're selling out like crazy, and there's going to be a ton of hype leading into earnings, which is in August, and that's my thesis on this stock. We're just getting started in my belief, and I was actually adding more shares after this drop today, so I'm still very excited about this stock. This week, this stock reached 28% for a 1 week gain. Now it ended the week at about a 20% gain for the full week, but I do have a huge position in this stock. I am holding, and I'm still super confident, and this was one of the big successes this week. So next up, we got Kronos, ticker symbol KNOS. You guys know that I love this company. So on Monday, this stock shot up once again. It was up about 30%. The rest of the week, it proceeded to trend down. It closed the week in the red. And I was actually adding shares today because I do love this company. They actually came out with a PR today as well. And this is one of my favorite stocks for next week. It's going to have a huge week next week. Kronos, they finally came out with a PR today. Very positive PR. They're getting more brand agents out there. I'm selling more and more of these masks. They're actually sold out in a bunch of these masks, and the company's just perfect for this environment. I love their marketing. Their marketing is just about to take off. They have the deal with Kevin Harrington that has barely even started yet, and there just is so many good things to come. Very solid company. There is going to be short-term dips, short-term pullbacks, because it is a penny stock. It is super volatile, but I have full faith in this stock, and I'm holding on long and strong. So next up, we got boxl, ticker symbol BOXL. At one point this week, it was up 400% on the week. This is my top buy on the week. I actually posted on Instagram on Sunday night. I was just saying how this is probably my favorite opportunity in the market at this time. And yeah, at one point this week is up 400%. Now it closed today about 250% up for the week. And this week I was buying in and out of this one almost daily. So I would buy pre-market, ride that 50% gain, 60, 70, 80% gain, sell out end of day, because who knows what's going to happen the next day. So on Thursday I bought in pre-market. I had like 40% gain. I sold out. I took profits right there. And then this morning, which is Friday, I bought back in midday Friday. I saw this stock down about 17%. I bought in because I do like the value. I do love the growth potential of this company. As school pretty much goes straight to online. And I'm swinging this stock into next week. And it still has huge potential, huge high potential, and huge growth potential. It still has huge upside. Some people are expecting to go to $5. I have no idea what this stock can do. All I know is that investors are very excited. So there's only one thing to do, which is ride the wave up. sell out, take profits. If it goes down again, you can ride that back up. So that's my trading strategy with this one. So next up, we got Galaxy Next Generation, ticker symbol GAXY. So as you guys know, this stock took off on Monday, up 122%. And the bad thing is, I didn't even get a chance to get in. I was planning to get on this stock. I was watching it. I had some hesitancy. I looked down. It was up like 30%. I'm not going to buy a stock when it's up 30%. And that same day proceeded to rise up 122% for that one day. So I missed out on my own stock pick right there. For me, this company is super interesting and has some very good things going for it, but it's just a day trade in my opinion. I would not want to hold this overnight because just anything can happen with a company like this. It seems to get very manipulated and pumped and dumped. I try to stay away from those unless I'm very confident in one of those longer term or have a swing trade thesis and just like the company overall. For this one, I don't like the company enough to hold it as a swing trade. I'm just looking at this as a day trade. So we're finally seeing LCA, which is the merge with Golden Nugget Gaming. We're finally seeing this stock gain traction. So it was down 10% at one point this week. It slowly rose up and it actually closed the week in the green. So thank God. This was one of my top picks and it's finally getting the traction it needs and I see more green to come. It should be valued at $20 plus in my opinion. It's a great fundamental company with great growth potential and perfect. It benefits off the virus and people staying at home. So great business. The management is very questionable, his intention behind this, but just the business as a whole. We're investing in the business in this one, not in the management team. And yes, I still love LCA. So one stock that I've been talking about for a while is Flir Systems, ticker symbol FLIR. So this was flat, and then midweek it finally had its pop. There was news that came out that they raised their guidance. So this stock popped up about 7% midweek. The next day it was up 1%, and then today it started trending down. It was down about 3% today, I believe. But I do love this company. I love it going to earnings. Very solid potential. And I still do think it's going to kill earnings. The value is still very reasonable. And I am buying at this price right now. And it deserves to be a much higher valued company because it has a big opportunity with the thermal imaging systems as of right now and in this landscape. So let's talk about some of my losing plays this week. So you guys know that I have a huge position in Peloton, ticker symbol PTON. This closed the week almost 14% down. There's one day where this dropped 10%. So the day that it dropped 10%, I bought options when it was down 10%. Hoping for a bounce back the next day, the next morning. We had a slight 2% bounce back. So I ended up selling all of my call options and I used that money to buy shares with it. So the reason that I did this is just because I was not feeling good about the social landscape around Peloton and I felt like this was going to keep trending down for a while, but I do want to have a huge position in the company anyways. So I converted this into shares so I wouldn't be holding the risk of holding calls that could potentially expire worthless. But I still do want to have the same amount of money invested in the stock just because I believe in the company, I believe in the business, and I do believe this is going to shoot up leading to earnings. So I'm still very confident on Peloton. Now I'm not holding calls anymore because I am wary of what's going on in the investor landscape and it does feel like it's trending down in the community. But I am very confident leading closer into earnings. We're going to start getting that run up again. We should reach $70 or so once again. We'll see if we can push to 80 after earnings, depending on the earnings results and the guidance that they give. But I will be holding a bunch of shares going into earnings. I'm not sure if I'll sell the day before earnings or I'll hold through. It does depend on the price action, but I still am a big fan of Peloton, ticker symbol PTON. So one of my biggest mistakes this week was buying puts on Disney, ticker symbol DIS. So this is kind of hedging my portfolio. I wanted to have some long positions and then Disney would be my short position. So I bought some puts on Disney the day after we saw that huge market dip. The next day after that was the day that we got the Moderna, ticker symbol mRNA. We got their news for the vaccine. It was very positive news. Disney trended up that day. My puts were down big. The next day Disney was down slightly. I ended up selling. Personally, every time I buy puts, it never turns out good. So a mistake that I always need to make is buying puts, betting on stocks going down. And that is one thing that I need to limit myself on. That's what I need to get better as an investor on. I'm just limiting betting on the stock market going down because while you can make big money on it, usually the risk is not worth the reward betting on the stock market going down because as we know, stocks go up. So another loss that I had this week was buying into Microsoft, ticker symbol msft. Now while we didn't take huge losses, I had some call options that I bought on Thursday. Those actually started trending down midday Thursday and then trended down more and more on Friday. The reason that I bought this is I'm expecting hype leading to earnings for Microsoft. But the investing landscape, the stock market as a whole, things are just kind of weird right now. Who knows what's going to happen? It's very up and down. There's a lot of fear going around. And personally, I'm not looking to hold calls through the weekend. So I did end up selling those Microsoft calls for a loss this morning because just personally, I was not wanting to risk holding call options through the weekend. And that's just my preference as an investor. It could be very successful. My thesis could play out where Microsoft runs up towards earnings and I was going to sell it the day before earnings so I can keep that implied volatility. But yeah, buying Microsoft calls was a mistake on Thursday. I thought I could use the stock as a quick bounce back and that definitely did not play out. So don't get in your head, don't feel like you can predict what's going to happen in the market. Always be very cautious of doing this And don't get greedy with your calls. I did make the mistake of getting greedy on these Microsoft calls, buying more and more, averaging down as these call options went down, and ended up in the negative. So that's the lesson that I learned this week. Just don't get greedy. So an awesome trade that we made today in the stock group was towards the end of the day, artificial intelligence technologies, ticker symbol AITX. I saw an uptick in volume on Twitter, on StockTwits, and we bought in for a quick day trade or swing trade over the weekend. Now after buying, the stock proceeded to fly up 50%. Now like I say, one of my rules for penny stocks is usually you should sell whenever a stock goes up 50%. So I sold most of my shares up 50% and I made $1,000 off this quick 15 to 30 minute day trade. It was an insane sequence of events, and a bunch of people in the stock group made profits on this one too. So that was a great call out and some very nice gains on AITX. So a play that I also made today was I bought into Sunlands Technology Corp, ticker symbol STG. So we bought into a pretty small position midday. This proceeded to run up 20% after me buying in. Some other people in the stock group got in as well. And this is a play on the online schooling space. I'm betting on some of these stocks that follow in boxl's footsteps. The upside is definitely there. It's one of the hot sectors right now. So sometimes you gotta follow the hot sector and find some of those stocks that have the upside and are undervalued in that sector. I found STG and I'm swinging this one over the weekend into next week, hoping for some more upside. I also bought into Quallen Therapeutics, ticker symbol qlgn. So this is a big play on value in the hope for an FDA approval in August. So I see a bunch of upside looking at the value of the stock. Just look at the chart, it is down so big, there's so much room to bounce back. If they can get some positive news, if they can get some traction in the social investor landscape, this stock could take off. Who knows what the upside is? So I was loading up on shares towards the end of the day, hoping to swing this over the weekend. I am holding my shares and swinging this one over the weekend and very excited about the opportunity with qlgn and the value and bounce back potential. So a quick update on Aero Incorporated, ticker symbol AYRO. You guys know that I was talking the stock up this week. I made a huge position the day after I released my video on AYRO. In the next couple of days, there was kind of a slow run up. I saw about 5% gain on my shares. So this morning, which is Friday, I saw this stock up like 2% pre-market and I ended up selling my shares. So why did I sell my shares? So this stock, I do not see this benefiting off the virus right now, and I do see a lot of fear in the landscape, and I was not wanting to hold this over the weekend. My thesis has not changed at all, but the market as a whole is kind of scaring me right now, just because I cannot predict what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and holding a stock like this that is very volatile, even though I do love this one long term, I do love this one midterm, like a month to 2 month swing trade. But personally, I was not looking to hold the risk of this one through the weekend, and it was definitely the right decision for me as I sold the stock up 2% today, and at the end of the day, 5% down. So definitely the right move on that one. I saved myself some more shares that I can buy next week when I buy back into this one, and I'll definitely be looking for a great buy-in point, preferably under $4.50, giving me 20% to 30% upside easily for this stock, and we should see a big bounce back in the coming weeks and months for AYRO. I still have the same thesis. I'm still very, very bullish on their business model. So our big play today was Tonix Pharmaceuticals, ticker symbol tnxp. So as you guys know, this is my favorite trade. I posted a video yesterday calling this one out as a penny stock that I was going to buy. I had started loading up on shares Thursday, Friday morning. It was up about 5%. I increased my position times 3, so I tripled the shares that I was holding. This morning I was controlling about 15,000 shares, and this stock popped. It proceeded to run up 35%. I actually sold half of my shares when it was up about 30%. So I still am holding 7,000 shares going into next week. And the reason that I love this stock so much is it's having a bunch of momentum with these virus trials. And they're working on this virus vaccine. And vaccine stocks are the hot stocks to buy right now, especially the ones under $1. These are super, super attractive for buyers. And I do believe that this is going to run up more and more next week. The reason that I sold half my position up 30% was, like I was saying, when a penny stock is up big, the smart thing to do is sell. So I limited my potential upside, but I also limited my potential losses by taking some profits, moving on to the next opportunity. And it's a very solid swing trade next week. I do expect big things from this stock next week, and maybe one of my favorite stocks for next week. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching the video. Congrats if you had a big week this week, and if you had some losses, make sure you learn from every single loss. As an investor, how we improve, you learn from your mistakes and get better from them. Every mistake you make, you should write down on a piece of paper, put it in your investing notes, look back on that so you don't make the same mistake twice. So one of the most important things, especially if you have a small account and you're not super experienced with investing or trading yet, just make sure you learn from your mistakes so when you have more and more money in the future, you don't make those same mistakes again. Right now you may lose $100, but it's better than losing $1,000 later when you have a bigger account. So just make sure you're learning from every single mistake and become a better and better investor. Super proud of you guys in the stock group. Great week this week, and be prepared for a huge week next week as well. So if you're interested in joining the private stock group, the link is down below. It is a Discord chat. There's a ton of conversations about investing, Every time I buy and sell a stock, I send a message and you get updates to my portfolio every single day. If you want 2 free stocks on Webull or 1 free stock on Robinhood, the link is down below as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to be researching a ton this weekend. I have some more videos out for you guys for preparation for next week. And I'm super excited about some opportunities in the market, and big money is ready to be made for next week. Congrats guys, and let's get rich.